Hi everyone, my name's Lou Sims and I'm part of the Ciao Bella creative design team. And what I'd like to do today is share something I like to do with my rice papers, just to add something a little bit different. So what I've done is I've cut myself some tags just from some regular cardstock, and I want to change them a little bit differently before I put the rice paper on. Historically, we always seem to work on a light background for rice paper, but it's great fun to do other things with it. So I'm going to paint some of them, and then we're going to layer some of them. So I'm just going to take one here, and I'm just going to use some acrylic paints on this tag. Main reason to use acrylics is that they dry quicker. So I'm just going to put some colours down on my tag and just paint it. So let me see, which brush do I want to use? Let's use this one. Now I'm not going for perfect blends, that's not the idea. I just want to create a rough background. I'm not over blending the paint. Not worried about it being smooth or anything like that. So all I've done is I've just given myself a little bit of a background there. Right, so I'm just going to tidy this up and we'll do the next one. Okay, let's go for the next tag. And I thought what we could do is I want to go a little bit. I'm just trying to think. Yeah, no, I want to go a little bit deeper with my colours for this one. So, as before, I'm not worried about blending. I've got a little bit of a mud going on there, so what I might do is, once that is dry, is just put a few spots of the orange on. But at the moment, I'm quite happy with that. So that's the second one. So I'm just going to put that to one side and let that dry and tidy this up and get on with the next one. Right. Okay, for these two tags, I'm going to add colour, but I want to do some texture first. So what I've got here is just some cardboard packaging, and I've pulled bits of it away, as you can see, just to expose some of the corrugated bits of it. And I want to just add little bits of that on. So I'm just going to take a little bit of these bits off, just to expose a bit more of that cardboard. Let's just move my tags out of the way. I want it just to soak in, so I can just rip a few more bits off. I don't mind if there's some smooth areas. I just want to... So I'm just creating a little bit of texture and depth. And let's choose some bits. And if they go over the edge of the tags, again, I'm not overly worried, because I can cut away any bits, or I can leave bits hanging over, which would create something a little bit different again. Quite like the idea of that being there. Right, so I've got those two tags, and I'm just going to put them to one side and let them dry, and we can start working on all the different tags. Right, my tags are dry here. Now what I want to do is I want to colour one white, so it matches the background, and the other one I want to actually do colours. So I'm just going to use some white acrylic, because it's here in front of me. You could easily use a gesso if you prefer. I'm just cleaning my brush because I forgot to do that. Right, so I just want to add just some white over some of the cardboard. I'm not, as before, I'm not going for perfect coverage, but I do want a little bit of blending or matching to the tag behind. Oh, you're not going to stick, so let's move you. Right, so that's that one there. I'm collecting tags now to let them dry. Right, I've just cleaned my paintbrush off. Right, this tag I want to colour with the paint and I'm gonna do a couple of colours. And I'm, like before, I'm not going for perfect coverage. So some of the green will appear really nice and light, and some of it will appear darker where the cardboard is. So let's just, and then I just want to put a bit of yellow. Now I could have used my brush straight away, and I don't know why I didn't. I should give it a quick clean. And I want to bring in some of the yellow. Okay, so and that's that tag there. Right, so I'm just going to put these to one side, let them dry, and I'll be back. Tags are dry, well, still a bit tacky in places, but that's fine. We're going to go for it. And we've got, you know, some with a little bit of texture and some with different colours. Now, historically, normally with rice paper, we do put them on lighter colours. I just wanted to show how, you know, your rice papers can take on a totally different vibe if you start from a different coloured background, you know, straight away. So let's make a start. I've got so many back. I'm just going to grab a few to bring in. Right. So let's move these ones out of the way. And I'm going to start with this one here. And I'm going to start with the human anatomy. So I've got this one here. And let me think. You know, we'll just go for that one at the moment. So I've got the human anatomy. And I've got my Mod Podge. I keep saying that, don't I? Mod Podge. And I want to start layering up some of this. So I'm just going to bring in some water so I can do some of the rice paper. Okay, so I've got a few bits already. Always add some more. Now, as I said, historically, we always seem to add our rice paper to a lighter colour. So if I turn this over, that's what we would normally do. So all the detail, you know, stands out on our rice paper. But what I wanted to do this time is I just wanted to do something a little bit different with the rice paper. So I've gone for like the purples here. I'm just going to put some Mod Podge down here. I've gone for the matte because I don't want them to stand out. And not painting the whole of our tag and having little areas means we can suddenly see the difference. So if I lift this up, the effect on the brain with the orange looks totally different, where you can see where it's underneath the purple, or even with the purple on the skull. So suddenly, you know, the imagery takes on a totally different look. And I'd let this dry, and then I can pull, I might have to pull it away now if I wanted to keep to the tag shape. So for that, now when you look at the skull, this one looks a little bit more menacing. We've got this one in the shadow. We've got the brain a little bit peeking up. So that now has taken on a totally different look compared to how we had it if we had it on a lighter colour piece of rice paper. So in my head now, this one I was thinking would make it ideal to change the paper. I could actually make it more of a Halloween, a darker sort of look to it. So that's going to go to one side now and dry and ready for the next layer. So I'm just going to put that to one side. Right, I've grabbed this one here and I've grabbed the botanical rice paper this time. And so that's my main floral image. And again, if we look at it on a white background, it does stand out and it stands out beautifully. But I just want it to be a little bit more funky and to look a little bit different, to take on a different vibe. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by adding the leaves along the bottom here. So I'm going to put some of them here, just a starting point, and just a little on the back there, but I think it's too much. So now I'm going to put that on top there. And because I've got that texture to it, I'm just going to very slowly, that's so to me, and that's where all these little ridges are within the design. Around, just need to add a little bit there, and then the side here. So I'm using that more just, I don't want the layer to be overshiny to start with. So now suddenly, where I've got the green and the yellow and then the cardboard, it's suddenly taken on a different look again. So now when you see the flower there, I've got one flower that's got like a yellow tinge to it and one that's got the green to it. And then this one I took off. So all of a sudden, it's taken on a totally different look compared to, I'm just going to grab the rice paper, compared to being on a white background. So now I've made it feel to me that that feels a little bit more botanical. So I'm just going to use these bits up that are dangling down because it seems a shame not to layer them on while they're here. So now this is the starting point for my next lot of layering that I would do. But because I've got the greens and the golds there, to me, it's already got a really nice textured background and a botanical feel. So I'll just put that to one side. Right, I'm just going to take the white one now and I want to start building up. I do actually want to use this image, but I want this image to be separate. So what I want to do for the base of this tag is just take some of the background elements to build up my design. Right, this is our last tag and I'm using the classification papers, but I want to do these a little bit different. So I'm actually going to use scissors and then I'll do a little bit of tearing. My background is completely different. All the detailing within the rice paper doesn't stand out as much. You know, it just merges into the background, and different elements that I want to stand out, like the darkness of the black lettering, really now pops. This bit here, once it's dry, I will tear away because I'll keep that 5 and use that, and we'll neaten up the edges. And then I've got other layers, but this is a starting point for my tag. So I'm going to put everything away to dry and bring them back to show you. Right, I've been a bit impatient. They're not quite dry, but they'll do just to show. So what I wanted to say was, you know, how your rice papers, think about the different coloured backgrounds you use before you put your rice papers down. So obviously, traditionally we put more of the lighter colours on, so it stands there. But then suddenly, by adding the purples and the oranges, I've changed that backing paper to suit a totally different theme. And then with the golds and the greens, this is the starting point for my botanical. And now I would bring my inks in and my toppers and my other layers. And then this one here, that was that beautiful strip that I wanted to keep that I've just wrapped over. Using the blue, I've changed the different focal points now to be the darker lettering, and that's the starting point for my tag. So each one of these now is a different starting point for me to build on, with probably little or, you know, just a few extra added elements from some of the paper kits. And, you know, I've got somewhere to go. Right. Okay, so I've started here. I'm not going to finish these, but what can you do if you do this technique on bigger things? So I'm going to pause the camera and go and get some of the projects I have made. Right, I've realised, let's turn them this way. I know it's not ideal, but I will take a proper video of them all. We can see. So these are 3, if I show you the back, wooden houses. They hang their shelving units. So what I've done was I painted them. As you can see, this one here is all in greens, like the lime greens. And I've used the rice paper. So again, the rice paper takes on a totally different look, even on the inside. Now that's a little bit dark because I'm obviously showing you the shadow of inside there. But you can see here where, you know, the green of the rice paper, and then obviously I've just added some extra toppers and embellishments to it, and I've added little bits of blue. But it takes on and it changes that rice paper totally again. And then I thought, well, why not? Let's do it slightly differently. So I'm going to turn this way because it's a little bit bigger. I know the images are going to be side on, so I apologise. But this one I have painted orange. As you can see there, I love having little bits hanging over that haven't quite stuck down. So if I turn it to the side, you can see. So suddenly the orange with the rice paper, and believe it or not, for this project here, these are exactly the same rice paper. So now it's amazing how the green changes it slightly compared to the orange. And this one I felt had a little bit more of a tropical warm vibe to it. So it took on a totally different look. So that's for that one there. Let's put you over to here. And then finally, this one, I've done the card technique here that we've just done on the tag. And I've added the card, but then what I've done is I've painted it blues and greens, and I've added a touch of gold paint as well. So then where you've got some of the instruments appearing through, it's like where you've got the little metal bits here and there, they've got that little touch of gold coming through. So I've combined the mixture of the cardboard on there just for an extra layer, and done exactly the same. Sorry, let's turn it on that way, on the inside. So again, the rice paper takes, by having that blue there, the design totally looks different to where I've got the gold next to it there. And it just adds that extra little bit of something else just by changing our colours with our rice papers. So those were my 3 houses. I'll see if I can do it diagonally. And as you can see, each one is a different colour. So that's the orange, that's the blue, and then this is the green one. I'll just put that in there for the moment. I will video all these separately and not quite so close up, so you get to see all the detail a little bit more. But have a go with your rice papers and play with the colours of the backgrounds to see if that influences how you're going to do your next part of your project. I'm going to go and stop now and go and set these all up ready to be videoed so I can show them to you in proper detail.